The man set up his sniper rifle. Just as he aimed at the wild wolf, he suddenly noticed something in the scope, so he did not dare waste any time. He immediately readjusted the 8x scope and raised the gun again to observe. Unexpectedly, he saw a high-power signal jammer. This instantly gave him a bad feeling. Then he quickly scanned the other directions around him, but what he saw made his scalp tingle. There was a signal jammer planted in each direction of the house, east, west, south, and north, perfectly covering the entire area where he was. As a former soldier, he immediately realized a huge crisis was about to arrive. At that moment, he suddenly noticed a convoy not far away, charging toward this direction aggressively. They were the locally infamous drug lord mercenary group. In order to successfully surround and kill the man, every one of them was armed to the teeth.
Anda muy listo para la sorpresita.
Sensing the danger, the man hurriedly retreated toward his home. However, the drug lords had already arrived nearby, and they launched the attack first. Seeing that he was still some distance from the front door, with no other choice, he turned around to fight back. But what no one expected was that he used only a single shot to easily take down one enemy. The intense gunfire alerted his wife and daughter inside the house. She was just about to call the police when she realized there was no signal, so the two of them went upstairs. The wife took out a handgun from the drawer. The daughter tried to call the police again, but still could not get through. At this moment, a large number of drug lords were all in position. They originally thought that with their overwhelming numbers, they could end the fight quickly, but unexpectedly, just as they got out of the car, one of them was taken down by the man who suddenly rushed out. The panicked drug lord could only wildly spray bullets at the front door. However, after emptying an entire magazine, there was still no movement inside. Seeing this, the leader did not dare act rashly. He could only order a few of his men to take the lead. When everyone aggressively rushed to the doorway, one drug lord pulled out an axe and handed it to the companion beside him, clearly planning to force the door open. Unexpectedly, the door was not locked at all, and the man inside had already been waiting for a long time. After succeeding, he did not stay to fight. Instead, he retreated to the kitchen. Then he threw all the bowls and plates onto the floor. Hearing the noise, the drug lords immediately rushed into the house, but the cramped space inside made it suffocating. Everyone stayed extremely alert, in case the man suddenly jumped out for an ambush. At this time, the leader outside slowly approached. Before even entering, he had already lost 3 men. He also realized this was not an easy opponent, so he quickly sent people to block the back of the house, to prevent the man and his family from escaping there, while he personally led others to guard the front door.
¿Qué estamos esperando?
Esto apenas empieza.
Bueno, entramos y atacar y se acabó.
The leader was also a veteran. He knew how terrifying the opponent was. In this situation where the enemy was hidden and they were exposed, it was obviously very unfavorable for them. Every move had to be cautious. A slight mistake could mean total annihilation, and the facts turned out exactly as he had guessed. Even though the men inside were well trained, they still failed to notice the shattered debris all over the floor. The moment they stepped on the broken dishes, it meant their deaths were approaching. The man decisively rushed out from behind the door, and without hesitation ended their lives. The other 2 drug lords heard the gunshots and quickly headed to the kitchen to check, not knowing the man was already ambushing halfway. Then, taking advantage of another drug lord being flustered, he quietly moved to the side and cleanly eliminated the enemy. After that, he quickly retreated upstairs. At this moment, the leader finally gave the order and led the remaining men into the house. Unexpectedly, just as they reached the living room, they saw the man fleeing upstairs. Without a word, they opened fire. A dense storm of bullets swept toward the upper floor. The whole house was instantly filled with crackling sounds. Fortunately, the man was fast enough and narrowly escaped disaster. However, when he reached the study, he found his wife and daughter hiding in the closet with terrified faces. There was also a drug lord corpse lying on the floor. It turned out that just moments ago, the mother and daughter accidentally made a noise upstairs, and it was heard by a nearby drug lord. At the critical moment, they could only hide in the closet, then raised the handgun in fear, aiming tightly at the outside. The next second, the drug lord broke in, but after searching the room, he did not find anything unusual. Just as he was about to leave, the daughter accidentally bumped into a hanger. The sound instantly caught the enemy attention, but the cautious drug lord did not approach. Instead, he fired 2 shots at the closet door without hesitation. Only after he believed it was safe did he carefully step forward to check. Unexpectedly, the next second, the man knew this would be a brutal fight, so he immediately told his wife and daughter to escape through the window, while he stayed behind to cover them. At this moment, a large group of enemies quietly moved up, but as soon as they stuck their heads out, they ran straight into the man who had been waiting. Seeing that their position was exposed, the drug lords simply relied on their numbers and forcefully charged up the stairs, quickly taking positions on the other side. A fierce gunfight with 1 against many officially began. Even though the numbers were heavily against him, the man showed no panic at all. Relying on precise single shots, he picked picked off the enemies one by one. As time passed, the drug lords suddenly realized in horror that their teammates were gradually decreasing. Even the slightest mistake could become the man's breakthrough point, until in the end, only one of the first wave remained. But he was already scared out of his mind, hiding in the corner not daring to show his head. However, the leader in the rear kept pressuring him. With no choice, he could only stick his body out, trembling as he approached the study. But his fear had already robbed him of the will to fight. What awaited him in the end was only a cold gun barrel.
¿Lo ves?
Sí. ¿Qué está haciendo? No más aquí, con un rifle en mi cabeza.
The atmosphere instantly became extremely tense. The man originally wanted to use the subordinate as a bargaining chip, but unexpectedly the leader did not care at all, and directly shot his own man dead. An even more intense gunfight once again erupted inside the cramped room. However, because the man occupied the high ground, and the drug lords below had limited vision, it did not take long before their numbers kept shrinking. This made the leader extremely furious, so he simply pulled out a grenade, and without hesitation threw it upstairs. But even so, it did not cause any substantial damage to the man. He seized the opportunity and jumped out the window, successfully escaping along the roof edge. At the same time, a patrol police car suddenly arrived outside. When the officer saw the drug lord with only half a head left, he realized something was wrong, and quickly grabbed the radio to call headquarters for backup. But there was no signal at all. While he was distracted, a drug lord suddenly rushed out, and without a word wildly sprayed bullets at the police car. Although the officer reacted quickly, and immediately reversed and sped backward, the drug lord chased closely from behind. Eventually the police car was forced to stop, but it was not over yet. Only after emptying a full magazine into the car did the drug lord slowly step forward to check. He originally thought the opponent had been shot full of holes, but to his shock, the police car was completely empty.
Fuck.